Oh, hello YouTube! Today in the Naughty Librarian, I'm going over my October TBR list. I have got a lot of books on October's TBR list. Well, some of them are just rather chunky, chunky. They're very, very large books. But I'm excited to get into all of them. Some of them are a bit spooky, some of them are palate cleansers, but I got all of them in there. I wanted to have like a spooky month. But before we get into the TBR, let's talk about some new changes on the channel. So I recently mentioned I wanted to start doing live shows with wine tastings, and you guys seem to be into it, so I'm thinking like a couple Sundays a month, like maybe around noon Pacific time, just because I don't want to drink in the morning. I'll have like a little wine tasting in the afternoon. We can all like have a little drink, chit chat about books, maybe there'll be guests, who knows. But I'm also going to announce what wine I'm drinking each video and put a link down below. So if you want to buy the same wine or something like it, you will be able to. We can all kind of drink the same thing. And if you don't want to drink this wine or you don't drink it all, that's fine. You can just come for vibes. We're just also going to talk about books and whatever. It's just going to be a good time, a hangout. And the first inaugural wine and chat day is going to be Sunday, October 10th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So I'll see how it goes from there. Maybe the time will be adjusted in the future, but for my inaugural one, that's what it's gonna be. And I decided I'm going to have this lovely Chenin Blanc for our first wine. This is a Clos Chapon Vouvray, and I will put a link to it in the description down below. I rather like it. It's a fun white wine, it's fruity, it's nice on the palate, it's not difficult to drink or difficult to understand, you know what I mean? And also, I wanted to pick something like affordable. I'm never gonna pick a super expensive wine because I don't want to make you guys like invest in this. So it's gonna be like, $20 or so. I think this one is like a little under $20, so it's not too expensive. I feel like it's like a nice beginner wine. And if you can't find this exact bottle, just look for the word Vouvray on it and you should be okay. And yeah, we'll drink some wine, we'll chat about books. It's gonna be a good day. All right, let's get into what I'm going to be reading this October. First things first, my next episode of Drunk Classics is going to be The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. I figured this is like the perfect book for October. It's a little spooky, it's got a phantom, but I really think it might be a burn victim and not like a ghost, which is unfortunate. I have not seen the musical or any like video film adaptation. I have no reference. Like, I kind of know what it's about because like it's in pop culture, but I've never read the book. I've never seen any adaptation. I know everyone's like, what? How? But like I just never did it. So I'm going to be reading this one. I believe there is this guy and he lives at this opera and then he becomes like obsessed with this opera singer and he's like, I'm gonna snatch her. And then he has a mask because I think he was burned. And then he's the Phantom of the Opera. I don't know. I'm gonna read it. It's going to be fun. I think it's gonna be like spooky vibes, so it's good for October. When I'm filming this video, I haven't decided the exact day this one is going up, but I'll put it on the screen down below because I'll figure that out. And that's the day we're going to premiere it. We can chit chat while it's happening. It's gonna be a good time. Coming at you the last Saturday of the month on my channel is the book of the month for the Blazing Bodice Rippers book club, which is The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones. This one is going to be full of slasher movie delights. Basically, this book is kind of making fun of slasher movie tropes, horror movie tropes, the last girl, the final girl trope, and it's gonna like turn it on its head and be very, it's gonna be sarcastic, poking fun at it, satirical, and also probably very bloody. But this is going to be the Halloween live show. It's going to be on October 30th, which is a Saturday. And since it's an October 30th Halloween show, we're gonna do it at night. It's gonna be 6 p.m. Pacific time on my channel. We're all gonna dress up. It's gonna be a good time. If you wanna come hang out with us for Halloween, you are more than welcome to join. And if you don't wanna read the book, that's fine. You can just come for vibes. It's gonna be fun. Also on deck, I have Moon Called by Patricia Briggs. And again, this is kind of paranormal, kind of spooky, and I was like, all right, let's get into this for October. This is the start of the Mercy Thompson series, and it's a series I haven't read, but like I've wanted to read for a really long time. And so we're dealing with this woman, her name is Mercy Thompson. I believe she's like a mechanic, tough girl, related to the paranormal world. Basically, she works at this mechanic shop that's owned by a vampire, and then her sexy next door neighbor is a werewolf, and then she's involved somehow. And I was like, okay, I love the setup for this rom-com. I don't think this is a rom-com, but like if it was, I'd be like, hot damn, I'm in immediately. But, you know, it's kind of like a classic of urban fantasy paranormal romance, so I definitely want to try it out finally. I am also going to finally start the Argento Vampire series with A Quick Bite by Lindsay Sands. I love a good Lindsay Sands. They're all kind of the same plot, but it's okay. It's like mini Snickers. They all taste the same, but it's okay because you like Snickers. And same with Lindsay Sands. And this is her vampire paranormal series, which most people know her for. I've really only read her historical romances, so I'm excited to see what she's like when, you know, now characters have fangs. This is Luciana and Dr. Gregory. Luciana's a vampire. One day she finds this dude in her bed and she's like, wow, that guy, top notch, he's really hot. I don't know where he came from, how he got here, why he's tied to my bed, but like I'll think about it. And then, you know, Dr. Gregory wakes up and he's like, wait, I don't know how I'm here. Why am I tied to this bed? Things have happened when I was unconscious. So, you know, and then it goes from there, and I'm assuming, you know, they fall in love somehow. And then, you know, vampires and stuff. The blurb on this is so not specific that like it's very hard to get a grasp of what the story's gonna be, but I'm still excited about it. You know, it's Lindsay Sands. It's probably gonna be like a fun campy romp. Also on deck, I have Bombshell by Sarah McLean. This one has nothing to do with spookiness. I just wanted like a palate cleanser book if I need one, because I read so many spooky things, I might need something that's just not spooky at all. And this one is kind of some of my favorite tropes in historical romance. You have Lady Cecily. She is a scandalous young debutante and kind of liking it. She goes off into the bushes in the gardens at parties a lot. And maybe gentlemen are there, maybe they're not, you know, scandals. And then you have Caleb, her brother's like best friend situation. It's a brother's best friend romance. And he's like, oh no, like I think she's mega hot, I'm into her, but like scandals, and like I'm not gonna go there because it's my best friend's sister. But then like, you know, he's gonna go there and we're like, yeah. So it's one of those. We find the same trope in a lot of like contemporary rom-coms, but I'm excited to see how it is in historical settings. She seems like a really cool lady. Fingers crossed she sticks that way. We'll find out. Holy smokes, you guys. I'm finally going to read The Diviners by Libba Bray. This is a book I have been meaning to read for years, like so many of them, like several years, and I got it on my shelf. I own the book and I've never read it. Why? And you know what? I was like, this is the month, and I've said that before, but this time I mean it. So it's New York. It's the Roaring 20s. There's this girl Evie, and she gets sent to live with her uncle, and her uncle's kind of an eccentric, really into like the occult and seances, I'm assuming, 'cause those are really big at this time, like spiritualism. And one day a girl winds up dead with like a weird symbol branded on her, and they call in her uncle, who's like really knows a lot about spooky shit, to like decipher. And the thing is, Evie has like some type of supernatural ability. I'm assuming she sees dead people, and perhaps she can catch a serial killer by using her gifts, and also spooky delights and like monsters and the Roaring 20s. And yes, everything about this book makes me really want to read it. Like I did the try a chapter challenge on this one to see like, is it really all that great? And you know what? I read like 2 pages of it and already wanted to keep it. Sometimes I just know like really fast, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. It's happening. Hold me to this, guys. I've said it before and I haven't done it, but this time I'm gonna do it. I am also going to be reading The Inheritance of Arcadia, Divina by Zoraida Cordova, and this one has like witchy vibes and I'm into it. So basically there's this family, the Montoyas, and they've always had blessings, and they just learn not to question it. And then one day Arcadia Divina, she passes away, but she turns into a giant tree because, you know, that's just what she does. And there's now gifts in the family, even more so, and we're following these 3 sisters who, you know, are the beneficiary of this inheritance, so to speak. And now bad things are starting to happen, because some people are trying to get their blessings and like do bad things, and they're like, no, we gotta team up and take out the bad guys and do witchy stuff. And I was like, yes, get some witchy stuff going. So it's sisters, it's witchcraft, it's spooky, and you know, it kind of gives me like a little bit of Charmed vibes, like a dash. I kind of wanted to keep this final girl slasher movie trope going throughout the month. So I'm also going to read Final Girls by Riley Sager. And you know what? This is like the book everyone tells me to read by Riley Sager. And I had it, and I read a different book by Riley Sager first and wasn't very into it. So like I have worries, but I'm thinking it's going to be okay. So this one is these three girls, and they kind of have a club where they are all each the final survivor of a massacre, and we're mainly following Quincy. She is the only survivor of like this massacre of all of her friends that happened at this cottage in the woods. And you know, she has recovered since then. She's on a lot of Xanax, but you know, she's moved on, or at least tried to. And she also has a lot of repressed memories about what happened. And so there's two other girls in the club. One of them ends up dead. Girl number 2 goes to Quincy. She's like talking crazy. She's like, listen, they're gonna get us. There's the bad guys and they're coming after us again. And Quincy's like, nope, not dealing with this. Get out of my house. And then, you know, Quincy has to deal with it because bad guys are coming. And it also has something to do with her repressed memories. So something spooky is about. There's going to be a serial killer. I'm pretty sure there's no paranormal elements in this. It's just gonna be good old-fashioned slashing. And I'm just like digging my heels into this like slasher movie vibe for this October. I'm also going to read The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, and this one is also, I don't believe, a spooky book. I think there might be a dash of fantasy elements in it, but I don't think it's spooky. That's mainly why I put it in the list, because it's just kind of like fantasy and not spooky, so it's kind of a palette cleanser book. I got my romance palette cleanser, I got my fantasy palette cleanser. And honestly, the blurb on this really does not tell you very much about what it's about. We're going to be following different people all in, you know, New York, and how the city is actually like a living character in these stories. And I don't mean like metaphorically. I feel like there's going to be like a metaphysical connection between the city and these characters. But in the end, I'm pretty sure it's going to be amazing because N.K. Jemisin wrote it, and she is a phenomenal author. So, you know, it's going to be my fantasy palette cleanser. It's just going to be kind of modern day, maybe some fantasy, but not necessarily spooky. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if the mic is picking this up, but my neighbors just started a party because all of a sudden mariachi music started playing, and I was like, wait a minute. So I'm going to wrap up this video with the final book I am reading in October, which is Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. This is a really anticipated read for me. It has a ton of art in it, and also, you know, vampires, and like, holy mackerel, is this a chunky ass book. It's 734 pages, but there's also a lot of like beautiful artwork in it, and even the cover's really cool. I got the Barnes & Noble special edition because I guess it has some type of specialness. I'm not sure what the special was, but basically we're following this guy Gabriel. He's a silver saint, and like I think he's like a vampire assassin. I don't know exactly, but I didn't really care. I heard vampires and J. Kristoff, and I was like, yeah, I'll buy that. So the mariachi music has gotten louder. I would be very surprised if it's not being picked up by the mic. On that note, I think I'm gonna end the video right now, and I think I got a whole lot of really cool stuff on deck for October. It's going to be so fun. I got all of my spooky delights. Also, if you guys want to come hang out and do my wine tastings with me, you can maybe learn something new about wine, because that's the #1 thing I get is from people saying, oh, well, I like wine, but I don't know where to start. And I want to kind of let you know where to start. And also we can talk about books and whatever else. It's going to be just like a fun hangout. Let me know in the comments down below, what kind of wines would you want to drink in the wine chats? Or what kind of topics do you want to talk about? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, hey, what spooky books are you reading for Halloween? Let me know. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon.